Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Weekday Edit. I'm Ellie,
I'm Arabella.
and we are Weekend Creative. We are a commercial photography duo in San Jose, California. And I am so excited about this stream. We've been posting some videos on our Instagram about focus stacking, and it seems like you guys are really interested in this topic. And so Arabella is going to show us all her tips and tricks for getting super, super sharp images in in Photoshop using a bunch of images that she takes on the shoot. And I'm excited because honestly, I have never seen this process. And so I'm about to learn so many things along with you guys, and it's going to be really fun. So
It's gonna be
please,
so fun.
yes, please say hello in the chat. Let us know where you guys are watching from. And feel free to ask questions as we go along. And let's get into it.
Let's do it. So I have here some photos. We did a personal project. So if you watched our stream yesterday for Adobe Max London, we actually played around with some of these images, but we ended up kind of adding like just gen filling
So
everything
fun.
into this image, and it was so much fun. So please, please, please watch the replay of that
Oh
because
my
it was
gosh.
just, oh my God, chaotic and like fun in the best way. So
Try
here's
to
one of
guess
them.
what's real and what's not
I
before
know,
you
right?
watch it, because I mean, maybe we had a real snake. I don't know.
I know, you never know. So here's that one other image too. So I'm going to be working on the same exact images from yesterday, but this time we're going to be focusing on focus stacking. So how do we get super sharp images? Obviously when we take our photographs, like there are times where we want to make sure that everything is in focus from like the front of the scene all the way to the back. And so oftentimes, in product and commercial photography, like we work with a very small aperture, which, kind of gives us the most depth of field. But sometimes even when you are shooting like an F16 or F22,
Mhm.
like you're still gonna get like some fuzziness. Like it's never gonna be like perfect. And so I think that's where focus stacking really allows us to achieve that like really wide range of depth of field. And so we can get kind of that sharp texture from the front to the back. And so how we do that is we take several different exposures where we change the focus, based on the things that are in our image. So in this case, I focused on the grapefruit. And then I did another shot where I focused on the cocktail. And then I did another shot where I focused on the bottle itself, and then these pots behind. And then at the very last, kind of just whatever's in the back. And I think we had actually wanted that same exact cocktail in the back as well. So
Mhm.
we like moved it so that we had it in the
Yeah.
back. So yeah, so I
A
have
little
all
trick for
these
if you only
images.
have one of something, but you want to have
Yes,
multiple.
exactly. You can always
Photoshop
composite things
magic.
later in Photoshop. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's a good little tip here.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I have all these images here and we're gonna open them up. Now, normally I would probably start in Lightroom and, do all my color correcting there. And then I have the ability to kind of open them up as layers, but I'm just gonna get right into it. And so we have camera raw here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and what's funny, we totally forgot to take like a gray card photo for
Oh,
this
no.
photo shoot, but it's totally fine because I feel like I have a pretty good eye for like knowing what
Yeah.
the temperature should be. So I know was a pretty warm like
Mhm.
image here,
Mhm.
and we can kind of play around with, and honestly even like both ways, right? Like the tint
I
going
know, it's kind of
either
fun either
purple
way.
or or magenta or green. Like I think either way is kind of fun. I think I'll probably go just a little bit on the green side, just slightly. But that's such a big difference from that, like that's so good. So let's go ahead and just increase our exposure a little bit. Let's bring up these shadows a tiny bit, bring down the highlights a little bit. And I think that feels pretty good right there.
That's
I
beautiful.
am loving this. So let me
We
go ahead
have
and
some
just, oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We have some people who joined yesterday, so they're back, which is
Yay!
so fun. Robert is here, Becca, Peter.
Amazing.
Peter says, I remember the band is real. Yes,
The
of
band
course.
is real, absolutely
Of
real.
course. And Alyssa says, I took my work break just to watch this. Thank you for being
Stop, that's
here.
so sweet.
I love that. And I hope that we make your work break very, very
Yes,
enjoyable.
yes. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I love it. So I already kind of edited that first image, and obviously we want to apply the same exact settings here. So you can do the same thing that we do like normally in Lightroom, in Camera Raw as well. So just make sure to select all those layers. You can hit Command V or just right click to paste edit settings. Now I'm going to make sure I have all of my images selected here. And I'm just going to open them all up. Now, this is kind of a little, you could definitely do this a much easier way, but I'm just going to open them all up and then I'm going to copy every single image onto one layer only, or onto one file only. So here they are at the very top. And let's start with, let's see. So I can look at this little like double arrow here and see what my first image is here. So this one's the one where the grapefruit is in focus. So now taking all of the other layers, I'm going to copy them, paste, and same thing with this. And the reason I'm doing it this way is just, actually don't know why I did this way. It's just,
It's just your
it's
workflow.
just what I'm doing right now.
This is what makes sense.
Normally I'd start in Lightroom and I really should have started in that. But you know what? I'm just switching things up a little bit.
That's okay. Jenny says I'm watching during work too. Thanks for
Awesome.
watching.
Thank you. Okay, cool. So now we've got all of our images onto this one file. So I don't really need these anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and hit don't to remove them. And the reason I don't even need them. So I'm just, I like to have like things as clean as possible when I'm working.
Yeah, yeah.
But the other way actually too, you guys, just so that I'm, if you're like, why did you do that? You can also go to File, Scripts, load files into Stack, and then you can browse the images, right? And for example, I have these ones in here, the Weekday edit. So I can just grab all of these right here, press open. Now they're all here.
Mm,
And actually, here's where you can also do like an automatically align all of your images. So it'll actually do it for you ahead of time. But I wanted to show you this other way just in case. But you would hit OK
yeah.
and it would just do exactly what I have already set up here. So
Saving you time.
saving you time. You can do, yeah, there's so many ways to do things. It's,
Yeah.
there's no right way at all. So just, as long as you get to your destination, I think that's the most important.
Yes,
Uh
absolutely.
so now that I have, let me go ahead and remove that little lock button here. I'm going to unlock that layer. So selecting all of your images here, make sure that everything is selected. Then you head over to edit and auto align. That's kind of what I was talking about, that little check box that was like, do you want to automatically align? You could do that there too. But this is a nice little way that you can kind of select things. So if you were doing like a panoramic, like a perspective, or like, collage, or you're repositioning, like there's so many options here. That's really great. Honestly, most of the time I just use auto. There's no really need
Yeah.
to do anything else, but that's what works for me. And it just does it all for me. And it's great. So I just hit OK, and then it's going through and aligning all of the images, and it should literally align perfectly. I mean, let's hope that your tripod stayed exactly where it needed to stay and that you
Hopefully
didn't bump it.
nobody bumped it. I'm always the one who bumps the tripod, always. My bad.
So no, no, it's okay. It happens to all of us, especially in small
Uh,
spaces too.
yes.
It just happens. So if I go ahead and just click on the eye icon here on the right, now you can see as I remove every single one, we're kind of like going down in order. So at the very top
Mhm.
is like what's in focus in the back. But then as we get down to the bottom, everything here at the bottom is in focus. And you can tell that it worked because of the way that there's transparency pixels around the edge. So then what I tend to do really is just like, I already know that this image is going to be, probably a 4x5 or,
Mhm.
9x16. So I will just go ahead and based on the layer where I have the most pixels, I will do my cropping. So then I can just get going right away. So I have here this ratio little drop down menu, and thankfully I already have 4x5 already set. So it's perfect. And then maybe I just want to do something like that. And making
Beautiful.
sure that I remove those transparent pixels. Maybe I'll go up a little bit, something like this. And then, yeah, or maybe something like that. Yeah,
I
I
like that
think
because I liked
that's
having
good.
little bit more of that orange slice. So I think that
Yes,
looks
I
good.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And then of course, I mean, I can literally go back in if I
Yeah.
want to, because
Yeah.
making sure that I have unchecked the delete cropped pixels. Otherwise,
Mm.
you are losing out on that all of that info. But honestly, I think at this point I'm okay with this. So let's go ahead and press enter. And now when we go ahead and open up all those layers, we can see everything that we have. So it's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with this. So in the reel that we posted yesterday, somebody commented about why I wouldn't just auto blend these layers. So that is a
Mm.
technique that you can do.
Mhm.
So while having all of these layers selected, right? Have Photoshop do all the work for you. You can go to edit, and then just underneath that auto align layers, there's an auto blend layers. And essentially we're getting like a little stack image here. And when you press OK, it's going to go through and kind of add layer masks to every single layer here to kind of get a full sharpened image here.
Mm.
Now, the reason that I kind of like to do it manually is because there's been times where I don't know, I'm such a stickler for detail and like
Yeah.
and usually I'm editing in pretty close, and
Yeah.
there's times where I can tell that there are certain parts of the image where there's like a little bit of blur or like something
Mhm.
happened.
Well, there's, like,
And
weirdness in the cup in the back. Oh,
okay,
and
see?
there too.
See?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, like, especially in this situation here where we
Yeah.
definitely did not, yeah, see, like these little parts right
Well,
here. So
especially I think because we moved that glass, it's confused about, is that glass
exactly,
supposed to be there or is it supposed to be in the
exactly.
back? And so it's not treating that the way it needs to.
Exactly. So if you
Yeah.
really zoom in, you'll start to find like little details
Mhm.
that, and it's just like sometimes a little bit annoying to have to like go back and find that layer where that
Yeah.
part is missing and have to like select it and bring it like to the front. So,
Yeah.
that's why, and see, like sometimes like that happens. And this is very obviously because we moved the the cup.
Yeah, with a simpler image, maybe it would be better,
It
but
probably would be okay, but even then, like there's always still something, like especially where there's a lot of texture. Oh, here's a good example.
yeah.
Right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there
I can see
there's a
that. It kind
very
of blurred the
clear
texture, right?
there's a very clear defined like line where there's
Yeah.
texture and where it's like blurred, right?
Yeah.
So that's the point where like that's what I'm trying to point out, is that sometimes like that's really annoying.
Hmm.
So in this case, like if you were to be doing your own, right? I know that this is supposed to be sharpened here. So, oh, and actually, hold on one second. I think what's happening is, oh, that's right. Okay, so it's in this layer. So that's the other part about like letting
You have to
Photoshop do,
find which
I have
layer
to
it's
find
in.
which layer it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, not that one. See, and so then you're like kind of left with like, where is this?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, that's personally why I like to do things a little bit more manually. But in certain situations, it does work well. And I think in more, maybe like more flat images a little bit
Mhm.
where like there's not as much like happening, like, in terms of things being in front of things. So anyway, so that is the reason why. And then you're you have all these like wild layer masks and
Yeah.
having to like figure it out. I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's too much. So I
Too
did
much
do that
work.
for a lot of for a few for like in the beginning. And then I realized, I was like, you know what? I could just do this myself. And it would not take that much, like having to like go and figure out things in these layer masks took me so much longer than to
Yeah.
just do it myself. So that's the reason why. So hopefully I answered that comments question that somebody talked about.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that
let's
makes
go
sense.
ahead and
And
go
did
back.
you want to, or do you want to touch on a little bit more about why you do this method instead of just doing it all in camera and trying to just like have a really small or big depth of field? Which one would it be?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
am
yeah.
I
So it's like a wide depth of
a
field.
why? Yeah, with a
Yes.
small
So
aperture.
yes. So for example, like here's like an image. Here's the image where like this is in focus, right? And I think we had like an F, I don't know, 13 or 14 is what we had. We
Hmm.
could have pushed it to F22, but then like we have to also change settings, because when we go to
Hmm.
F22, it means it darkens the image
Yeah.
some more. And you know, sometimes even then when you have like a really small aperture, you'll still get fuzziness.
Mhm.
Like I know so many you know, like landscape photographers, for example, even when you are shooting that like f/22 or whatever, like
Yeah.
there's still like going to be some fuzziness in the very back, like, you
Mhm.
know, or in certain parts of your image. And so this is why it's like more to know that you're going to get like a fully sharpened image, um,
Yeah.
you know, from the front to the back, top to bottom, is how you have to do it manually. You have to like, you know, take different exposures and put them all together. Take different plates and put them all together in Photoshop, and that's how you can like, you know, that's how you can really like make things as sharp as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, cool. So sometimes I do end up taking quite a few different plates, but I might not even need all of them. So I kind
Mhm.
of have to like go through each one and figure out which ones I end up needing. So I can always like, I might not even need all of these, but as long as I have them all there, it helps to kind of build out the story. So okay, so I'm gonna add a layer mask to this, and the key part is to invert that layer mask. So that's we're gonna be doing that with every single layer. And I just kind of grab a soft brush, pretty large, especially for the beginning part, it's pretty easy. So I have my opacity at 100%. And oh, and I have to make sure that my foreground color is white so that you can actually paint that in. And this part again is super easy because it's literally everything in the front.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna just kind of do like maybe a little bit about here. And the reason I'm starting from the bottom is because as I work my way up, the layers that are at the top are I can more easily paint on top of that layer
Yeah.
versus like if I were to auto blend it, I'd have to go back and like, you know, paint with black or white depending on what
Yeah.
it is, you know? So it's a little bit easier this way. Okay, so this is pretty good right here, I think. And now I head on over to my second layer, add another layer mask and invert it. And now here's where I kind of have to like zoom in a little bit more just to see. So I don't know if you guys can notice like that difference right there of just like
Mhm.
sharpness.
Mhm.
So much better. And you kind of want to work on like the right like plane, if that might make
Mhm.
sense. Like, you know, see how like that's already getting more focus there.
Yes.
And actually, if you can tell, like this cocktail is now getting blurred, like here where I go over. So
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I don't get that part. So
Right.
I can
Right.
kind of use X to like switch back between my foreground color being black or white to kind of bring that back. And then just making sure that I kind of work around it. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll increase my hardness of my brush so that it's a little bit, I can work a little bit more closely on those edges. And there we go. Perfect. And then maybe I'll just go around right here as well. And you can see that the texture is starting to get painted around the cocktail there. There we go. Maybe not there, actually. Okay, perfect. So there we go. That's looking good. Okay, now I can go back to just a completely soft brush here. Now that I've painted it around that cocktail, and I can continue to do my work. Okay.
Beautiful. If you are just
Yeah.
joining, Arabella is showing how to do focus stacking in Photoshop to get super, super sharp images. And feel free to drop questions into the chat as we go along, and we'll do our best to answer all of those.
Yeah. So again, I'm kind of like just being on the same uh area here. You have to be like really mindful um as you're painting here. This part's always really fun, I feel like.
It feels like I feel like there was something as a kid. I can't like fully grasp the memory, but I feel like there was something that you would like paint with water and it would like reveal the image or something
Yes.
along those lines. Like it's like a super fuzzy memory I have, and it feels like this where you're like
Oh,
revealing, or like one of those like scratch off things where you're like revealing
yes.
the image.
Yes, yes,
I don't
definitely.
know what
Oh,
it was, but
uh,
I feel like this is that, and it's fun. It
it's
seems
so
really
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So here's probably the point where I'd probably finish off somewhere around here. And there might be a more sharpened part of this section in a layer up at the top. but I feel like this is a good way to stop. Okay. So now if I zoom in here and I press my next layer, I'm kind of trying to notice to see
Mhm.
what's in
What is
focus
being
here.
sharpened? Yeah.
Yeah, and actually this might not have been anything different because this might be the layer where we changed the
The
cup,
glass.
the
Mhm.
glass. Yeah, okay. So then this layer I actually don't even need at all. And I might not even need this one either, but let's see. And then you kind of have to like go back and forth and just like toggle that like visibility. Ooh, okay. I can see the
That's the
crispness on
one.
that.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So do I even need this one? I don't even know if I need this one either. I don't think so. So I think I'm going to just delete that one too. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So again, kind of adding that layer mask and now painting around. And then, yeah, that one's definitely a lot crisper there. Okay, perfect. And just kind of being careful not to like get too close here. And
Mhm.
again, you can always make your brush, the hardness of it a little bit, increase it so that you can work around these sections here. I could always like take like make a selection as well if I
Mhm.
wanted to. But honestly, I
Yeah.
feel like this is easier. Like I'm just like, I just need to go around enough, around.
Yeah, yeah. Keys just asked, which I feel like is perfect timing for this question. Have you tried this technique and masking workflow in conjunction with the new object selection features?
Ooh, you know what? That's a great one. I have not. Only because I don't know actually. I haven't even like thought about it. But I wonder if I were to do that. Let me see. So let's do, for example, this bowl. So let's go ahead and just select it. Good tip though, or like good little
Yeah, because that
why
could
not?
be it
Yeah,
could get
okay,
you those
cool.
really sharp edges potentially that you
Yes, it
would
could.
want.
And I think that maybe that could work. The only thing is that I would also want to be selecting the background too, because that's also
Yeah,
part of that layer that
yeah,
is sharpened too. I think this could work well if if I only wanted the products or the props to be sharpened.
mhm, mhm,
But I also do want to make sure that the texture and the backdrop is also being sharpened at the same time. But that's
yeah,
honestly such a good idea. I would also probably maybe do a little select and mask, maybe like smooth and like maybe like feather it a little bit too.
yeah, yeah,
And then from there, I could also, here, I'm going to remove that. And then I could take my brush here. Yeah, I mean, that could work. I don't see, I can see it working.
mhm.
But I need to continue like adding all the
Yeah,
backdrop too,
because you need the
So
background, yeah.
exactly. But that is a good, like if there was a certain situation where it would call for that, I think that would be an excellent way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just gonna go all in on this one because I think that very last shot is just for the cocktail alone because it's the furthest away.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to paint this. The other day I saw you when you spoke about like this memory, this fuzzy memory that you had. The other
Yeah.
day I saw this thing on like Instagram Reels and it was like core memory unlocked and it was like I don't know if you remember that animation. It was like a 2 minute, 1 minute animation that would happen. I don't know if it was Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or something, but it was like this like man that would like turn into a small size and then fall into an egg carton and it would squish
Oh.
like the dirt and like plant something. I don't know if you remember that,
Wait, I
but
don't remember that.
it was
That's
like
I would
such
need
a
to see
like
it.
yeah, maybe I need to show it to you, but if
That's so
anyone knows what I'm talking
funny.
about, it's like that it was like a guy and a girl and they were like normal human size, but then they would like shrink down into this like egg carton that had a bunch of like dirt
Oh,
and then they would like
how
throw seeds
funny.
and like plant and it was like such a funny like little animation that I was like, wow, I totally
Uh,
remember that. But it was such a weird like thing
wow.
that you like I hadn't seen that in so long, but it's like such a childhood thing.
That's so funny. Oh,
I know.
how cute.
Okay, cool. So here we go. And
Do you
actually
think the
too,
flower would be in the back
I think it is. So I
or
might
like
actually
in
do
that
it.
last layer as well?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can just do that for that last part.
Jack says Nickelodeon animated shorts were wild back in the day.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it was that. I think it was that.
That's so funny.
Okay, awesome. So let me go ahead and make one last layer mask and kind of paint in that last part right there. And you can see that detail's just coming back. Even in the
Mhm.
backdrop too, like you can see the
Yeah.
grain and the texture,
Yeah.
you know, and even right here
Absolutely.
too, we're missing some of that here. So I'm going to paint that in as well.
We want all the texture.
We want all of that
Texture.
texture. Yes, definitely.
Good one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I kind of want to be careful to go around that area. So I'm going to increase that hardness there so I can kind of just paint around, being careful. Okay. That looks great. Perfect. Back to my soft brush. Oh yeah, look at that texture just coming through. I love
Looks
this part.
so refreshing.
I know. Oops, went a little too far there. Okay. Kind of going around there as well. I know, very refreshing. And then back to my little hardness brush just to like go around this edge right here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. I think we've got it. Maybe I need to add a little bit back here actually too, just to like make sure that we have it. Yeah, look at that. Okay. And it's really just like that simple, you guys. It's like, it doesn't, you know, like it really doesn't take like too long, but it like, then it saves you, I don't know, just like once you get like the plates set up, you know,
Yeah.
in during your shoot, then it's like really easy to just kind of put together.
Yeah, it's really not too much time.
No. There we go. I think that's good.
You just
Maybe.
have to remember to get all of the shots that you need.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so now we have our fully sharpened image, like from top to bottom, and it was that simple. Like,
Amazing.
how cool. So we went from like doing, I think this is the one, disable layer mask, kind of something like this, to then like that, which is like so good. I love it. And
Yes.
now we can like continue editing it. But that's like, I love this like style where like everything is like sharpened, you know?
Yeah,
It's super
yeah. I
cool.
love it too, all of the detail. And you
Yeah.
could maybe stylistically, there's a shot where you just want the product to be more in focus and everything else a little softer, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it just makes everything feel so crispy
It
and
does. Okay, let
beautiful.
me show you guys just how I do it, like how I set it up for that other image, because let me just do that little like process that I was showing you earlier. So we can do
Yeah.
file scripts, and then we load files into Stack, and we are going to browse and select those images. Now it's not going to be like color corrected, but that's okay. I think I just want to show you guys that it's like possible. And then let's do attempt to automatically align source images. Let's see if it like knows to do that. Okay, it's doing it. It's doing the work. Okay, amazing. And I think we only had 4 images for this one, so that was
Jack
pretty
says,
good.
now I need a margarita. It looks great.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, see, it did it. It did it. So there we go. So that was super simple. So then you
That's
don't even
super
have to do what I
quick.
did earlier.
Yes.
But the thing is, it is much easier because you also want to edit too. You want to edit the colors.
Right.
So that's the other
Yeah.
thing to like think about. My usual go-to is to do everything in Lightroom first, and then you can always you know, select those images, right click and open as layers in Photoshop, and it'll do the same thing, and you would just have
Yeah.
to do edit, you know, auto align and so forth. So yeah, that looks really good. Let me just go ahead, and since it's already aligned, I'm going to do that same thing. Because there's no moving around of cocktails in this image, I want to see what auto blend does and if it
Yeah,
does
let's
a good
see.
job. So I'm going to hit okay. It's already done.
I kind of miss everything we added to this image
I know.
yesterday. I'm
I
like,
know, right?
where's the lizard?
I know.
Where'd he go?
Okay, here we go. That's not that bad. But okay, here's an example. You guys, look at this like blurriness right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, why
Yeah.
did
I
it do
see
that?
it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, see how like if I turn it off, why is that top layer Like,
It's kind of like taking the blend idea too literally, like, it's pulling pieces from
yeah,
every part of the image versus
yeah.
doing it in an organized fashion.
Exactly, because, like,
It's
I
blending
would
it, but
want it's blending it,
it's
but it's
not
not taking into
organized.
consideration, like, where like, the plane of where things
Yeah,
are
yeah.
so that it, like, does it according to, like, the distance of which, the props are to the camera. So that's the thing that I'm kind of like, it's a little funky, but that's why, like, you do it, like, you know, you do it manually. At least if you want it to be like, because it is annoying because here's the reason why. We like to edit our images with a lot of texture and a lot of
Mhm.
like sharpness. And when we do those techniques, like that I'm actually going to show you when I edit this other image, then it's that blurry part is so much more noticeable.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that makes
I need to make
sense.
sure that everything is how it should look. Like even here, like do you see that? Like there's like
Yeah,
blurry, texture, blurry. So
it
that's
looks
the thing.
splotchy.
It looks splotchy and I feel like, Photoshop is trying. It is trying, but I feel like
It can give us a
sometimes
lizard, it just maybe can't blend everything, and that's okay.
exactly.
We appreciate what it can give us.
We appreciate. So, but that's okay. That's why we have, thank goodness we have layer masks and all these
Yes.
tools that can help us do that. Anyway, so let's go back to our other image. So that was a good example of like we didn't like change anything, move any cocktails. So cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and just like have fun and edit this image because now that we have it all sharpened. So I like to kind of just build these together because just in case you never know what you might need it for. I kind of selected my whole image, copy merged, and then pasted it on its own layer. I'm gonna call this my base and duplicate that layer and call it clean. So there's not a
Mhm,
whole lot here in this one that I want to clean, but if I did, then I can just, do a little generative fill action, have it do its thing. Now I'm not working in Photoshop beta right now, you guys, but actually
mhm.
I might actually open that just so that you guys can see um, all the new features because they are amazing.
Yes,
So let
yes,
me go ahead.
if you guys, have not downloaded Photoshop Beta, you can download that now in your Creative Cloud, app, and that's where you can access all the new features that were released
Yes.
at Max London yesterday, and they're so fun. I think the total stream yesterday is like 9 hours of content showing you all the different things, from
Yes.
that are new. There's new things in InDesign
Oh,
and
it's so
Photoshop.
good.
Yeah, so definitely check that out, and you can watch the replay of that,
I
on
have up
Behance or on
here
YouTube.
Creative Cloud so that you can see. So basically,
Mhm.
you're in your home section, you head on over to apps, and then you go over to beta, and then here's Photoshop beta. I already have it, so it's already downloaded, but otherwise, you would download it, and then you have access to all these amazing things. So let me go ahead and put that away. I think I saved this already, or it's saving. So let's just go
Mhm.
ahead and open that up because it is awesome. You guys, the way it can generate with the image model 3 is just incredible. Like the results are
Yes.
just so good.
So that's something that's new in Photoshop, in beta is Image Model 3. It's
Hmm.
also in Firefly on the web in preview, and the results are so realistic.
It's
It's
insane.
crazy. It's crazy. And there's so much more control you have in Photoshop now where you can, you know how in Firefly you could select different like like what you wanted the output to be. So like maybe
Hmm.
like you wanted it to be like painterly or
Hmm.
different styles that you can apply. And so now you can do that just directly in Photoshop, which is so fun
Yeah.
if you're
So fun.
generating something. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm opening this up in Photoshop Beta right now, and we're gonna play around with the new Image Model 3.
12
And
hours. Sorry,
uh,
Keys says
oh
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
12 hours and was there for most of it. Extraordinary day. Thank you for sticking it out for so many hours. That is awesome.
I love how it just told me you have an update available, but I definitely already have it, the update, so I don't know where that came from.
That's funny.
Photoshop is playing. Okay,
Okay, so
cool.
now
So
we're
I've
in
got
Photoshop
this.
beta.
We're in Photoshop beta here. So let's just kind
Cool.
of take a look at what it can do. So let's say I wanted something completely different here. Like I can literally remove this and add something else that was not there previously. Let's actually just do that. Let's do another cocktail. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So,
more the merrier, you know?
uh, maybe like, um, cocktail with floral garnish, in a, how do you call it? Just like like a tumbler? Is that like a,
I don't know what you're
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know
I'm
what you're
thinking like
picturing.
also something like this, but I'm just
Similar.
like, yeah, similar.
And
I
then
guess I could always take this and like give it a,
you
a
could do that
reference
as a
image.
reference.
But let's try this.
What if it
Cocktail
was
with,
what if it was green glass? Kind of because I'm thinking of the green
ooh,
in the flower right there. That could be fun.
yes, with green plant, like plant or
No,
like,
like the glass itself is green.
oh,
So with
cocktail
a I like
in
the flower garnish, but with in a green glass.
a green glass. Okay, amazing. Let's hope it figures it out. Although I do really like this plate. This plate is really cute. Yesterday we had
A
added some
rainbow
salt to
cocktail.
it. Oh, a rainbow
That's
cocktail.
what Robert wants.
Oh, I love it. So fun. But then, yeah, you can really like explore different, Oh, do you see how it
Whoa,
just
look
did a
at
whole thing?
okay.
Ooh,
That's
I love
pretty.
that. Okay, I'm into this one. This
Can
one's
you
pretty.
generate similar with that one?
Yeah, let me do a
And
generate similar.
see.
So the other thing, guys, that's new, of course, is you can now do what you used to do in Adobe Firefly, where you can like once you generate something, you can generate similar of something that you really, really like. So
Mm-hmm.
then we can see other options. And then now also you also have the option to enhance
Yes. Enhance the
your
detail.
generations and enhance the detail. So I might try that actually because I didn't do that so much yesterday, but I do want to try it. And I think it has to be with a sort of, ooh,
Wow. Oh, I
wow.
kind of like that one.
Oh, I like this one too. Okay, I'm into it. That's so pretty. I
I
mean, I
love
like
that
this
I
one
made the
too.
actual cocktail green, not the glass,
I
but that's
know.
okay.
I mean, I kind of like this one too. It's
What is that?
like a rock candy. Like
Oh,
rock candy?
yeah.
I mean, I didn't say rock candy, but that's kind of fun. It even the pick,
I
the
know
like
I
the
like the
garnish,
pick.
the
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
That's cute. Okay. So there's the little option here that gives you, and maybe I can't click it. It's grayed out for me. Okay. Maybe not. But normally there
Do you
should be
have to
like a
have it
little,
selected first and then
great question. I don't
no, it's
know.
still not in
No,
it?
it's still
Maybe
not
it's
giving
too
it to
small.
me.
I know
Maybe
it
it
only
is too
works with the
small.
right size.
Sure, sure.
So,
That's cool though. I'm into it. So normally though, you would be able to kind of, oh, actually, maybe it is here. Just kidding. Why do I have
huh.
like six of the same?
I don't
Okay.
know.
I don't know, but here it
Going
is. I can
crazy.
click it, I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and enhance this. And it's doing the work. It's bringing it to. Okay, let's see. Did it work? Kind of don't see a difference. Maybe a little bit, but
Photoshop says it's perfect as it is.
it's perfect. Maybe because the size is already like a
Yeah.
decent size.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Oh, I didn't mean that. Okay. Well then I guess if it was like a much bigger, you know what? Actually, I wonder if it would do like for this example, for obviously we have everything sharpened here, but
Yeah.
if we didn't have that, so like let's say we still had this, like, let me see, not in focus, right, like kind of out of focus, I wonder if it would like enhance the detail of that, or does it have to be a
I
generation?
think it's only for generations, but I could be
Darn.
wrong. So if
Yeah,
somebody else knows, drop that in the chat, but I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's just with generations.
That makes sense.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
All
Yeah.
right, well, we tried.
I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome,
Maybe in the
actually.
future.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's something that we need to try though. I kind of do want to see the enhanced detail here. But okay, cool. That looks awesome. And then what I was doing earlier was I was kind of cleaning up some of the
Oh
spots. So
yeah.
let's see if it can clean up this little edge here. But with the new image model 3, it just does like a much better job. Things are a little bit faster. The results are like so much better than before. I feel like we really jumped. Like we went from like what, image model 1 to like 3,
Yeah. Well, two, there was image model two.
but only in Firefly.
Yeah, it was short lived.
Yeah, it was
So
very. Ooh, see, that's pretty good.
That's
Oh, I like
yeah.
this one.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
that's really
great.
good. Wow. Okay, amazing. So then we can kind of keep on going and find other little spots.
Is that
Um,
tape or what was
I
that?
don't
The blue?
know. I have
What
no
is that?
idea. It could just be part of the glass though.
Yeah,
I feel like I
yeah.
remember it being like,
Because I don't think we would have used blue tape
no,
anywhere.
no, wow. So good. I mean, are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Okay, yeah, Jack says the enhanced detail only works with gen fill generations.
Okay.
So
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you. Um, yeah, okay. I mean, so good though. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what else is there to fix here. Okay, this is kind
pretty
of
clean
distracting a little bit. It
image.
is a pretty clean image. Oops. But I really love it. Okay, let's gen fill that. That's a little distracting to me. And I kind of, what if we change the flowers?
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
different
Why
ones. Why
not?
not? I know we
Yes,
went pretty
and
wild yesterday.
yeah, yes, and Keith says Image Model 3 is only in beta and preview, so it is still in the beta
Yes.
phase. In Photoshop and then in Firefly, it is in preview. So
Okay, let's see. What should we add? Some like red
mm,
wildflowers with stem.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hopefully it does something fun. I figured that we would do red for Madre Mezcal. I feel like that's the
I
vibe
love
here.
it. I love it.
The orange is gorgeous too, but just like, I don't know, you want to change it up, kind of do something different?
Yeah, maybe you show this to the client and they're like, I hate those flowers. And what are you gonna do? Reshoot the whole image? No, not anymore. Not with
Absolutely
Photoshop.
not.
Oh,
Oh,
I kind of
wow.
like the first one.
I know. I kind of don't hate that either.
Maybe
Although,
we
is it
can,
like the only purple
yeah.
thing? Okay, let's do it again. Let's
Okay,
do
okay.
red wildflower. Red. Maybe I need to
Maybe
separate.
the stems is what's throwing it off. Oh,
Sure.
Robert says roses and Keys says carnations. We could get more
Oh, I'm
specific.
into the carnations. Let's do red carnations. I'm into that. I feel like that would go well with this too.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, didn't we have some red carnations but
We
they were like
had we had some carnations
but
with
we
one
used
of
them
the
for something
other. We
else.
used them for a different,
Yes,
the one with it on the couch.
I think so.
Were they
Ooh,
red? I don't even remember.
okay, so cute.
Wow. Okay, so it knows flower types. That is
That
awesome.
is cool. Okay, cool. Um,
Should we add some red carnations somewhere else too, so it's not?
yeah, maybe like on this like little cocktail or like
Yeah,
this little
yeah.
shot glass thing. Maybe like red carnation garnish or something.
Hmm.
Okay, amazing. I love it. Okay, cool. I love how we were like, let's do focus stacking, and now we're just editing and adding things.
I love it.
But you guys get the gist, right? Like, I feel like that
Yes.
was like it, the first half of this was like all business, and then now we get to play.
Oh, I like
Ooh,
that.
wait, how pretty is that? That's like,
I
I don't even
like
know
the
what that
second
is.
one. I don't know. I like that one.
Ooh, okay, wait. Do you see this, guys? It gave the little reflection
Actually, that is
too.
beautiful too.
I
When
think
you
this
zoom
one's my
in.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
actually, I
at it.
like that one too.
Let me do a generate similar here.
Okay.
Because, wow, that's beautiful. I'm into it. Okay. I love it. I love it. And then once we do that, then let's continue editing and kind of adding color. Ooh, that's pretty too.
I feel like that first one looks the most realistic though.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah.
I kind of want like these to look more like that.
Now, if you had a picture of a red carnation, or if
Yes.
you went into Adobe Stock and you licensed a red carnation, you could upload or you could generate a red
Yes.
carnation that you wanted. You would be able to upload that as a reference image, which is also new. And Photoshop will take that into consideration when it
I wonder if
is.
it'll understand to like put things on like a white background to make it easier for the
Yeah,
reference, you know?
I
Like,
know it wasn't doing that super well yesterday, but we can try
hmm,
it and
okay,
see.
let's try
Yeah.
it. Why not? So I'm selecting photo here. So that's the one thing that's like really cool about the new update is that we can just, yeah, generate something from
And you can
scratch,
start from nothing in
start
Photoshop
from
now,
nothing.
just like in Firefly. Before in Photoshop, you had to start with an image. So
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
cool. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I love how, wow, this
Oh,
is so
that's
like,
actually really, I
it's
mean,
so pretty.
you could select subject and remove,
That's
or you could
true.
do remove background probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can. Let me see. How do I,
Oh, click on that again. Click on the little,
oops.
click on the little three on the taskbar
Let's
and then go
see.
up to remove
Ooh, there
background.
you go.
Yeah.
Remove background. Good idea. Perfect. Love it. Okay. Yeah, that looks awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and I think I'd have to save this.
You could probably screenshot it too,
That's true.
honestly. It doesn't need to be super high quality.
Right. Okay. So red carnation, saving that as a JPEG. And okay, great. Love it. Done. So now if we go back here, that's the other fun thing is that you can now, so I have these carnations here. We can go into this little section here where the properties is, and there should be a little like image with an arrow pointing towards it, and that's our reference image. So then you can choose something if you're like, I want it to look like this or more like this,
Yeah.
then you can add that and then hit generate again.
And you do need
And
to own the rights to that image. So
yes,
that could be something that you generated in Photoshop or in Firefly. That could be an image that you took yourself that you
or
have
from
the
Adobe
rights to, or
stock.
from Adobe Stock that you have licensed, or there's free images on Adobe Stock as well. So just making sure that you always have the rights to it is
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
important. So
Okay, yeah, I mean, it definitely got the style more. I feel like it got like maybe a little too fake, fakey
yeah,
fake, where I'm like,
yeah.
probably
Which is
not my
why I feel like
favorite.
almost sometimes a photo works better than a generation as a reference image sometimes, but
Yes.
it
Yeah.
depends on what you're
It
doing for
depends.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And the nice thing is that those previous generations are saved there so that you can always switch it back
Yes.
to
Yes.
the previous version.
I think I like this one. I love that the lighting
I
kind of
just wish that there
matches
was 3.
the three.
I just
I
hate
know.
when there's
Maybe
just
I'll
2,
do a
like,
generate similar there.
I feel like an even number of something just
Does it
never
bother
it
you,
never
Ellie?
looks as good. I think most people would agree. I feel like you just need an odd number. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you
I
do.
I do not like when we're shooting products and that product, it's like 4 different kinds. It's like, because then you do a group
Okay.
shot.
Hey,
There you go.
there
There
you
you go.
go. Okay.
If you do a group shot, it's like 4 instead of like, if you do 5, you can do look cool. Like, I don't know. It's just it's better. Or
Yeah.
3 even is
Yeah.
better than
No,
4.
I agree. Okay, so normally, like if I'm really editing this photo, I'm doing a lot more to this. We're doing some dodging and burning. We're doing all the things. In this case, I'm just gonna do a quick adjustment layer here. I'm gonna increase the brightness a little bit, kind of bring in that contrast, kind of just give it a little oomph. And then the other thing that I've been playing around with a lot, and I'll just finish this out for the rest of the time that we have here. I can't take credit for it because one of our friends, Paul Tranny, he kind of shared some like fun little tips on his Instagram. If you follow him, you'll get some great knowledge and education on his
Mhm.
Instagram page. But he has been playing, and I have actually played around with HDR toning. In Lightroom, but I've never actually done it in Photoshop. And so I started playing around with it and it's just been so much fun. So I don't know if I mentioned this or I've showed this before on stream. I might have, but if not, then here we go. So essentially what we're doing here is I'm going to just flatten our image at the very top because that's actually what happens usually when you want to do HDR toning in Photoshop. So I'm just going to do it already ahead. So I'm gonna just call this 2.0. I don't know, just give it a name. And essentially I'm going to go over to image and I'm going to duplicate my image. And now we have this on a second, a whole other file here. So I go over to image, we go over to adjustments, and then there's this thing called HDR toning here. And it's going to say it'll flatten the document. Do you want to proceed? Yes, we do.
Mhm.
We've already, that's why we're doing this on a um, separate file. But I have been playing around with all these like fun presets here. There's
So
so
fun.
many. Um, it's like super awesome, and you can kind of create your own custom ones too. So, for example, like I love flat as like a way to bring up everything.
Mhm.
And then you can, press OK. And essentially what I'm doing is I am copying this layer with that flat attached to it, and I'm pasting it onto this image. And then I can use blending modes to kind of add different effects to our images. So, I mean, I just love like
That is
it's
so
like so
fun.
much fun. It really is. So you can really just play around with like the opacity and just like all of it. It's just so fun. So I kind of like that, maybe just like a 40%. And I'm just going to call that flat. And then I can go back and like play around with some more things. So I can go into image, adjustments, and HDR toning, and kind of play around with all these other ones. And actually, I already have some custom ones that I made in my regular Photoshop. So I don't have them in here. I think I
Yeah.
called one like the oomph and the grit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
you can kind of.
how would you save your own if
Yes,
like,
so
save
let
one that
me
you
let
really
me select
loved?
one that I like am like into. So there's
Okay.
like so many here. Okay, so I feel like let me see. Photorealistic. Ooh, I love that one
That's
too.
fun.
Ooh, that's like a fun kind of
Wow.
effect too. Okay, if I go to photorealistic, ooh, I like that one. Okay, so photorealistic. But let's say I'm like, I want to play around with kind of,
Whoa.
I know it gets crazy,
So
you
sharp.
guys. I know it's kind of insane. So if I push it, if I pull it, there's so many options here. And you kind of have to just like play around with whatever, just to kind of figure out what's the look that you want. So I'm kind of into this like right in the middle here. I'm in tone and detail here, and I kind of have to just like see, oh, that's too much. Oh no. Okay. Too much detail. Okay. Maybe like just enough. And then let's see this shadow. Oh, okay. That's bringing up the shadows there. That's the highlights. And then vibrance and saturation. Okay, that's amazing. So that's my custom like set, right? That I'm into that. So now we can go over to this little like, I don't even know what you call this. What is it?
A little
Little
gear icon?
gear like
Yeah.
icon, and I can save the preset and then call it whatever I want. So like, the like the high key something, and then I can save it, and then now it'll always show up here, which is
That's
awesome. And you can
awesome.
always like bring it back, especially like if you're editing multiple images from the same shoot, then you can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then I can press OK. It's doing its thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy that as well and bring it back into our image here. Press OK, and now I can play around with. Ooh, wow, that's like very
Whoa, so moody.
so moody.
I
Yeah, there's so many like you
love
can
the
really just
negative,
play.
like, when it looks like a negative, that
I
is so
know.
fun. For
It's
a
so
certain
fun.
project, I feel like that could be so cool.
Like even just like that is cool. I know. It really is. Like you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Magdiel and like his like
Yes.
fun. Oh, it's so cool. Okay. So let's just do like this linear burn and then bring it down for something like that. That's kind of very vibey.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll bring the flat up a little bit to kind of brighten it
That
up.
really makes it feel like it was shot, like, intense sunset, Like,
Yes,
when
yes,
the sunset is super red, that's what it feels
exactly.
like.
Okay, let's do one more. And essentially this one now I'm gonna select that monochromatic artistic, and I'm gonna bring it down though, because we don't need as much of it. Let's bring that strength. Okay, maybe like, ooh, too much. This is basically what we were doing or we're doing when we do the high pass sharpening method, where we're kind of
Yeah.
like, enhancing the edges and all of that.
You have about
So,
30 seconds.
oh my gosh.
I
Okay,
know.
let's
Sorry,
do
I
it.
should have given you a warning earlier.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so copy, we add that in and we change the blending mode. Ooh, okay. I like soft light,
I
and then we
love
can bring
this.
down this
That is
opacity
so
so it's not as
fun.
much, but like that, there we go. We went from being from that to that.
I
So
love
that's
it.
pretty cool.
That's
Love
so
it. Ah,
fun.
thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching and joining us today. If you guys use any of the tips that you learned on this stream, feel free to tag us. We would love to see the work that you make, and make sure that you subscribe to Adobe Live on YouTube so you don't miss any of the amazing streams that are coming up. Follow them on Instagram as well at Adobe Live. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.